The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus said to the Pharisees, "There was a rich man who dressed in purple garments and fine linen, and dined sumptuously each day. And lying at his door was a poor man named Lazarus, covered with sores, who would gladly have eaten his fill of the scraps that fell from the rich man's table. Dogs even used to come and lick his sores. When the poor man died, he was carried away by angels to the bosom of Abraham. The rich man also died and was buried. And from the netherworld, where he was in torment, he raised his eyes and saw Abraham far off and Lazarus at his side. He cried out, 'Father Abraham, have pity on me. Send Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am suffering torment in these flames.' Abraham replied, 'My child, remember that you received what was good during your lifetime, while Lazarus likewise received what was bad. But now he is comforted here, whereas you are tormented. Moreover, between us and you a great chasm is established to prevent anyone from crossing who might wish to go from one side to another, from your side to ours.' He said, 'Then I beg you, Father, send him to my father's house, for I have 5 brothers, so that he may warn them, lest they too come to this place of torment.' But Abraham replied, 'They have Moses and the prophets. Let them listen to them.' He said, 'Oh, no, Father Abraham, but if someone from the dead goes to them, they will repent.' Then Abraham said, 'If they will not listen to Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded if someone should rise from the dead.'" The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
My brothers and sisters, on the 26th Sunday of Ordinary Time, the last Sunday of September, while the church celebrating the World Day of Migrants and Refugees, we receive the set of readings that is very interesting for us to contemplate. I would like to go with you to the first story that Jesus was the author, and Luke penned it in such a wonderful way that no one of us is left out from this story. The story Jesus told the Pharisees. Pharisees are those who live with the pride. They do believe there will be something after this life, but they want to use law to serve them rather to live under the law to serve God and to care for other people. Therefore, Jesus told them the story of the careless person, the one who has no sensitivity for others. And Luke is very wonderfully penned the contrast between the two men that Jesus mentioned. Luke described there is a rich young man who Jesus doesn't know the name. And for this rich young man, actually, he's not young, the rich man, who can be recognized only in the purple garments and fine linen. So this rich man got the attention from people because of his outlook. When he dressed up, cover the inside that he is hiding. In contrast, there is a poor man and Luke penned the name Lazarus. Lazarus, the name came from the meaning of God's help. So Lazarus, whom known to God and to Luke by his suffering. Lower class person, while the rich man sitting at the table eating sumptuously, Lazarus laying down by next to him on the floor. The one who is described as rich man did not care, did not pay attention to word by each other. The word of the one who dressed up, who spent money for himself. Next to that word is the word of the one who got the mercy of God. Therefore, Jesus went directly to the attack of these two lives. One after that, repay for what he gained. One after that, God pays for what he did not have. You see the two contrasts. Here, in the next life, Lazarus did not say anything. The poor even has no voice, but he could live in the happiness of Abraham. Abraham was the model of faith in the journey of the Old Testament history. Through faith, what he had hoped for now happened. The rich man, who had only what he could buy and get from outside, had nothing inside and lived with no hope. Eventually, in the end, he has nothing. So the gospel today gives us the two options of how you want to be. The gospel did not condemn the wealth of people, but Jesus does not like those who live with selfish. If you are living in wealth, you are gifted, and God asks you to share. Those who live in good condition have to make use of what we have to share with those lack of condition. Those who live in reserved condition can help those under reserved condition. Both group of people should come together in the love of God. If not, those who have will create the chasm, the gap between we, rich people, people of upper level, and them, the poor and the lower people. Even Luke, who is renowned for his gospel as the gospel of mercy, would paint the well picture of the future life, where we have no opportunity to cross over the gap between ourselves and those who live with God. So don't wait. The point here, don't wait. It will be late. Do it immediately, right now, today, here. Let us, with all of our desire, our heart, tell God that from this moment, I will try to live for others. How do we live for others? How do we do that if even you have to make your earning day in, day out? How can you live for others while your life is still having many ups and downs and worriness? God is justice. God doesn't ask of you more than what you have. And God has more than what you want. If two of us work together, perfect. Don't think of yourself can do anything without God. Think that you have one life for God to use as He has gifted us. Offer Him what you have, who you are. He will do the rest with His best. Practically, how we can do it? The second reading tells us the way to live each day in God's sight is to compete well for the faith. Remember, in any circumstances, you and I are people of faith. Beside our capability, besides our ability, beside the power we can have with money or the office that has given to us, we have God by us. If you see somebody who needs help and you cannot, ask God, what can I do for that person, God? If you pause and ask God, there is a pathway for you to go. Ask ourselves, how many times when He encounters a person who needs our help, we think of ourselves more than we think of God, correct? How much money I have? What should I give it to you? What if you're cheating me? What if? We never ask what God can do for you. So, the letter sent to Timothy describe how we compete well for the faith is to learn how to live righteously, live without devotion, live with faith, live with love, be patient, and be gentleness. All of these characters, you will want it when you live with your loved ones. When you live next to your spouse, the one you are dating, the one whom you love, you can exercise all of these characters. You have it by nature. But when you turn away from the one you love, looking at the one whom you never have met, you see a different person of ourselves. When there is lack of love, there is lack of kindness. If God is love, we need to live with kindness. If we live with kindness and love of God, we will be men and women for others. That's the only thing God asks of you and I today. Going to meet God, He would never ask how much money you have in the bank. How much was your last month's statement? How many vehicles and real estate you have? No, God doesn't care about that. God cares about how you have lived our life. So I ask you, as we are celebrating the World Day of Migrants and Refugees, never ever forget we are migrants. We refuge in the shelter of God's love. If we are not better off than anyone, be kind to everyone. If we know our reality with limitations, we will live better. If you don't know about yourself, then you live differently. So I pray with you and ask you to pray for me, as I have assigned to work for this community for 6 years already. It's time for you to pray that I can be removed and you have replaced. But as long as I stay with you and serve you and work for you and be with you and accompany you, don't forget to pray for me, so that whatever I share and advise you, I can try to live in such. And I pray that today, especially today, I ask you, look back your life to see how much God has loved you. Through the jobs you have, through the friendships and family relatives you have, through the good life you have. And even looking back, if you see the ups and downs of your life in the past 2 years of pandemic, how do we still survive? Could you and I recognize that the divine providence always places a best place for us? If we believe that, give thanks to God each day. And the best way to return to His kindness is try not to live for ourselves only, but try to be man and woman for others. At work, at church, cares for people. When you go out on the road, the traffic, be kind to people. When you go to the shopping center market, be kind to people by spending less money for ourselves, saving some for others. Sometimes, the best way to manage finance is to think of others. That's the best way. I was advised by my finance advisor. Don't think of what you need. Think of how much you can help other people. That's the best manager for God's steward. Let us stand now and to profess what we believe in God and what we hope for our future.